Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns is going down. We the talk of all towns. Look around, no frowns. Oh yes, it's time. We been sitting and just waiting. I want all of it. These people faking and they ain't just keep talking. You gon' feel less, they gon' hear us. We keep barking, Chris. And when it comes to Cleveland, we are all in this. Yeah. Kenny from Baker, some may say throw soft, not safer. At time, get a bad rap like Vader. Going deep, taking toss off like taper. Just bro freak, get smoke like vapor. To the house, oh yeah, see you later. We tougher than alligators. We'll beat you right now and later. Woo, woo. Got a blessing on flow cold like juice play, yes, just know you might lose. Deep crazy, call them typhoons. Can't block them, oh yeah, nice moves. Who the stop, don't know, oh yeah, Pikachu. We really all hit the lose on every day, just watch them loose. Winning all day, okay, yeah, that's a new hobby. Got some nice new bodies. Our past records, we know it's shoddy. The city standing strong, we ain't never choppy. DP of the year, Miles should worry about your play survival. Yeah, we got Odell well. He maybe sold out some hotels. You can't be mad, we doing well. You know them jokes that they will tell. Now watch the stories they will tell. Only time will tell. Watch where you throw it. We got water and greedy. For these that we starving, yeah, quite needy. The Cleveland Legends, we about to be. There is no stopping me. I mean, we. That is how I got to be. Oh yeah, Bengals, they just kittens. Ravens flew away, they hit it. Oh, those Steelers, who they kidding?
The Big Play Reflog Show is brought to you by ShackNews.com. Shack News is the place to be for all your gaming needs with news, guides, walkthroughs, and reviews, including their 2 featured articles reviewing the all-new Riders Republic and Forza Horizon 5 games. And remember, you can join in on all the discussions and customize your feed to keep up with your favorite gaming news using the Shack News Cortex and Shack News Reader. So if you're a gamer, Shack News is the site for you. Check them out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the handle @CheckNews and at CheckNews.com.
It's time! Streaming live from Cleveland, Ohio! Presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight podcast of the world, the Big Play Reflog Show!
Okay, do you need medical attention?
Yeah.
What is wrong?
I don't know. I know damn well. Attack by Chuck to the 10. He's still running to the 5. Dips out back to the touchdown.
It's time! The Big Play Reflog Show!
Victory Monday. Welcome to the Big Play Reflog Show. What is going on, everybody? Today is Monday, November 8th, 2021. Let's bring in the crew. Gentlemen, what is happening? How we feeling? 5-4. Chris, what is up, brother?
Big weekend. Browns win. Cavs win. The CBJ won. The crew won. And Granville High School also advanced in the playoffs. Huge weekend around the McNeil household.
Granville. Everyone was waiting for that one. Well done. Well done.
Blue Aces, baby. We're moving on, Dave. We're moving on. Watch out.
Nick, how you doing? How was Cincinnati? Have you recovered from your Skyline chili?
It was fun. I am happy to report I did not eat any Skyline chili. My voice is 100% back, so I am good to go. How are you guys?
I would say like 90% back, Nick.
Yeah, it's still a little weird. It's still definitely a little like raspy almost, but yeah, it was a fun time.
Nice. What was the atmosphere like? It sounded like Cleveland kind of took over that place.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the beginning of the game, especially, we sat down the Browns sideline, so it was all Browns fans, right behind their bench. And then by the time the third, fourth quarter rolled around and it really looked like Cincy was out of it, the stadium was about 100% Browns fans.
And you did a Baker chant. without
Yeah.
instructions. Well
No
done.
one, how about that? No instructions. It's crazy what happened. He threw a touchdown to David Njoku that pretty much sealed the game, and it was probably the most natural thing ever. Everybody just started chanting his name, and then when Case Keenum got in there, everybody just chanted Baker's name even more. So it was kind of crazy.
Love it. All right, we got a packed show. Let's get right into it. We are kicking it off with headlines brought to you by TSE Cleveland. They're helping us give away, very timely giveaway here. Wyatt Teller, after spearing the Bengals, 8x10 photo signed of Wyatt Teller. One of you guys is going to win that on the show.
Dave,
Then
is there anything scarier in American sports today than Wyatt Teller on a pole? I mean, could you imagine coming around and seeing that come at you, especially knowing he's willing to go torpedo? I mean, just fantastic. That block yesterday, man, that was inspiring.
That's how he took out the alligator.
That's right,
Spear, horizontal spear into the alligator.
You know what it reminds me of now that I think about it? It's like from Street Fighter. Remember E Honda? How he does that move where he just shoots across the screen?
Oh, yeah. Or
Remember that?
Raiden in
That's the
Mortal
one.
Kombat.
Yeah, that's the Wyatt Teller now.
The Wyatt Teller, yes. So one of you guys will win that. Go subscribe on YouTube. That's how you win. Giveaway to a random follower on there. Then we're getting into our featured interview, talk some Browns, talk some Cavs with Marla Ridenour of the Akron Beacon Journal. And after that, it is time for my favorite segment, Who Wants to Be a Billionaire? Hopefully, we're going to give away some Labatt Blue Lights and a GV Art shirt. Last week, Derek took it home in impressive fashion.
Yeah, it's a tough act to follow this week on the Big Play Reflog show for sure.
It is. So hopefully we give away some Labatt Blues and that shirt from GV. And then it is on to Browns Patriots. Play Dirty Mac Jones. Get into some bets with my bookie, some prop bets for that game. Then we'll wrap up with the best and worst tweets of the week. Let's kick it off. It is headlines time. Cleveland headlines brought to you by our good friends at TSE Cleveland. Go check them out. Get some signed Browns gear from your favorite players, old and new. And tonight we're giving away an autographed Wyatt Teller 8x10. It's a cool one too, man. And the winner is, drumroll please. The winner is Jake Amal 1919 on Twitter. Follows us on and subscribes on YouTube. You are the winner of that Wyatt Teller. Congratulations, sir. We have to have the Tellers on one time. Carly's great on Twitter, and they'd make for a phenomenal interview. So I think we need to book that sometime soon here.
Yeah, definitely. Did you see their Halloween costume, Dave?
That's what made me think of it. I was like, that is
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, they went as literally Wyatt Teller and the alligator.
Heck yes. All right, yeah, make sure you subscribe.
The sumo headbutt is what it's called in Street Fighter. So I'm about to tweet that out. Wyatt Teller looks like he's executing a perfect sumo headbutt. I love it.
Which guy was that?
E Honda? Remember him?
Yes, okay. I remember E Honda.
Yeah. Fantastic.
All right, let's get into
live tweeting, whatever. You guys have a show tonight. I'm just gonna go ahead and do my own thing.
Let's look at some tweets here. Emmett Golden, E Goldie. We're leading off with Cavs. Really, Nick? Wow. All right. I think the Cavs might be a playoff team this year. We just won such a giant game with the Browns, and we're talking Cavs. Yeah. Although I will say we need to talk a little bit more Cavs because they're playing pretty great. Nick, you love basketball. You love this team. I know it was kind of a rough day today with Colin Sexton, but do you agree with E. Goldie? Is this a playoff team?
I mean, at the time that E. Goldie pressed send on that tweet, I definitely believed him. I mean,
All right.
the young backcourt of Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley looks like a surefire front runner for Rookie of the Year. Jared
Mhm.
Allen looks like a steal, and we were talking about that $100 million contract could be a tough pill to swallow. The Cavs look really good, and it's all led by their young core. It was the first time in my lifetime that I've seen them, be able to put a legitimate team together that's not based off of LeBron James or a hope that LeBron James could soon return. I really thought that they had figured it out. And then the news comes today. Colin Sexton has a torn meniscus. There is no timetable on the young Bulls' return. And that feels bad because he didn't get a contract this offseason. We know that was something that was kind of, weighing heavy. It was definitely added motivation, something for him to play for. And it's just difficult that happened right now. The Cavs also, though, in this win streak, guys, they're doing this all without Isaac Okoro. So I think if you could find a way to, rotate Garland with Okoro and then oftentimes Rubio and maybe get some sort of scoring out of a tandem of Isaac Okoro and Ricky Rubio, the Cavs could keep their head above water. The good news is a meniscus in the NBA is pretty common. You could come back from that
Right.
fairly easily. So I just hope Colin comes back quick.
Chris, have you bought your Ricky Rubio jersey yet?
I'm about to. I'll tell you what, that was inspiring.
game.
Yesterday. That was awesome. Watching him go 8 for 8 there to start. And we've talked about it on this show, the way he moves the ball around. He just
Oh, yeah.
energizes that entire young team. And then you got guys like Evan Mobley, who I think is just going to be special. He's fun to watch right now. And that team plays very well together as a team, and they are fun. Everybody keeps saying how fun the Cavs are, and I will echo that. The Cavs are a lot of fun to watch this year.
Heck yeah. Thomas Booth on YouTube. What's up, man? He says, how do you get picked for Browns trivia? Go Browns, boys. Nick, I don't know anything about YouTube, but we started a channel and we're starting to grow it. So I figure we should probably interact with them a little bit. So going forward, we'll let the YouTube crew, instead of just the Twitter crew, know about the these giveaways for Browns trivia. So Thomas, stick in there. We'll keep you informed for next week. Nick, any more Cavs talk? Are we good?
I think we're good. I'm very curious to see what happens post Colin. I hate to make that sound like he passed away or something, but in this
No, I
realm he
gotcha.
kind of did. And I think that the Cavs also, though, they've played the toughest stretch of their schedule already. You already took that Western Conference trip and you came out of that plenty alive. You've played some difficult home games, some difficult road games, against New York in Madison Square Garden. That's not easy to do. Despite how the Knicks have been the last couple of years, they're actually much, much improved right now. So I think, yeah, you got a couple easy games against the Pistons and stuff. Cavs got to just capitalize and keep on rolling. Next man up, we talk about it with the Browns all the time. I would love to see the Cavs follow suit.
Ooh, speaking of next man up, nice transition. Emmanuel Acho sent this tweet out. Baker Mayfield had his highest passer rating of the season on Sunday. 8 players caught passes for the Browns, which actually is not very new, but no player had more than 3 catches. The Browns win by playing selfless team football. If you're worried about your stats, the Browns aren't the team for you.
That's thinly veiled, huh?
I'm not going to lie. I thought if we lost this game, we were just going to be like, oh my God, and talk about Odell and just have a horrible show and go 20 minutes. Nick, you are fuzzy, man. I'm getting you off this screen. Not the case. Don't really care about the dude anymore. Good luck to you. Donovan Peoples-Jones. When we hit that 60-yard pass, perfectly executed, I was like, goodbye. We're good. We're all right.
Yeah, no doubt. Boy, that Denzel Ward pick. Tell me that wasn't the most important play of that ball game, but the most important play of the season, right? I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals, we already said this was a must win. They're driving the ball down the field, driving it down our throats. All of a sudden, that pick changed everything in an instant. All of a sudden, you felt the air go out of that stadium. The air went out of the balloon there, and you thought, boy, the Browns are back here. The Browns are back in this ball game, and sure enough, that momentum continued. And I don't know if the Bengals score there. I don't know what happens in that ball game. I think that completely changed not only that game but the whole season, Dave.
I'm with you. And so last week we were talking about this game, and we're like, all right, this is what we need to happen. We need to pound it with Chubb, check. We need to do some play action bootlegs. We did a couple of those. Give Baker a little time, check. We need to sling it downfield, check. And we need to play man coverage and let these cornerbacks play because they're healthy, check. That was the biggest thing in this game, man-to-man coverage. I was super nervous like every single time they were throwing to Jamar Chase, but it worked out. Greg Newsome looked phenomenal. Guy who I was hoping was going to be really good when we signed him, Troy Hill. He didn't do a whole lot up until this point. He looked really, really good in this game as well. So they're all kind of clicking here.
Yeah. Yeah, coming together on that defensive side of the ball, the offense clicking. That's the Browns that we've been looking for all season, right?
It
Yeah,
is.
we finally found some consistency for sure, and that was the biggest thing. It was a mixed. It was like the most, flawless game that the Browns have had, and of course there had to be a couple lined up offsides defensive players along the way, but really we played well in all
Clowney.
facets of the game.
Clowney wasn't offside. He was in their backfield. Like
I
the
was
way he
like-
lined up. That was
like,
incredible.
Yeah, I was watching that. And I'm like, what is Clowney doing? Like, I was like, are we gonna call timeout? And then just never got on sides twice.
So strange. And Chris, it was gonna feel like the old Browns with all of those penalties, but then to your point, Denzel just changed the game completely.
Really did. Really did. That was such a pivotal play for that game, for our season. It's good to see him back too, by the way, and contributing the way that we expect him to. He's a big linchpin in this defense, I believe. And really, it was great to see some Buckeye on Buckeye violence, right?
Heck
Him
yeah.
and Joe Burrow.
Heck
That
yeah.
cracked me up too.
How about Eli Apple got in on that violence too, in coverage of the DPJ touchdown?
Yeah. Amazing the way,
I thought he was hurt. I'm glad he's all right.
Yeah, me too. That was a bad no call.
That should have been another call. There's so many bad calls, Nick. You saw the hold on Miles.
True. That was ridiculous. The officiating this year, league wide, has been so bad, and I know we just complain about it as Browns fans, but I'll be watching the 4:00 games and the primetime games, and it's like, what's going on out here?
Yeah, it's horrible. It's really horrible. All right, let's stop with the horribleness of the referees and bring in Marla Rittenauer. Let's keep the Cavs going, keep the Browns going, keep the positivity going. It is interview time. All right, friend of the show, recurring guest, sports columnist, and for the Akron Beacon Journal, the one and only Marla Rittenauer. How are you, my friend?
Oh, a little tired, but I'm hanging in.
You and Nick both. Marla, are the Browns fixed?
Well, that's a good question. I think I'm more concerned at this point now. I mean, with the defense. I mean, that was what the defense that you thought the Browns were going to have when they brought in all these new guys. I can't tell you how many Sundays, I were going on our own Beacon Journal, rehash of the game and saying how disappointed I was in JJ3 or, just all of these, Anthony Walker. I just didn't feel like they'd lived up to what was expected. So I thought the defense was what needed more fixing. And obviously there were, deep ball, issues with the offense, but that is the defense that I think can get them into the playoffs and, take them somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Walker, 12 tackles. JJ with the pick. You had Troy. They all looked phenomenal, and hopefully we can keep that going forward. We're with you. I think the defense has been probably the most frustrating part about this team, outside of like OBJ. But and Marla, we were talking, we were like, we really don't want to have an OBJ show after if we lose this game. Thank God we didn't lose. We don't even have to talk about him. But I think you had an opinion on Odell in this locker room. From your experience, how did this all kind of transpire, and like where do you kind of fall with Odell?
Well, I mean, I don't have any issues with Odell personally. I mean, he was always respectful, I mean, not willing to talk to the media very often, but he was intelligent, insightful, that kind of, like I said, it was Thursday night when it hit me that, he's forced his way out of here. And I was angry. And I guess that's why I wrote the column, that I wrote about him quitting, because I still can't fathom like doing that to your locker room and doing that to Jarvis Landry. I guess, I'm laying awake at like 2 a.m. and saying, how could you do this to Jarvis? This has been your dream since you were 16 to play in the NFL together. And, how could you do this to Stefanski? I mean, you threw your quarterback under the bus and the play caller, the head coach. That I don't know. That was what kind of, you see these things in the NBA where, the big three and, the collection of stars, and the players can kind of force their way around, the league, but it doesn't usually happen that way in the NFL. And I guess I felt sort of like he manipulated the system.
Well, I think we're a playoff team, and maybe he wants to come back, but I think we're all right.
Well, I do. Like I said, I thought the passing game looked great, and I've also been one who was worried about Baker. I know it's not his throwing arm, but when Alex Van Pelt said the other day that it was affecting, his throwing and the new harness and getting adjusted to all that. I mean, obviously I've never had any kind of injury like that, but I mean, wearing a harness is a constant reminder that you're hurt, and, I just felt like it might have been affecting just his willingness to run, I don't know, to take chances, to, it felt like we lost a little bit of the Brett Favre gunslinger and Baker Mayfield there after he was, especially right after he was hurt against the Cardinals.
What do you think about where this offense is now after seeing that, with obviously Odell not there? And it seemed like, Baker was a little bit more comfortable yesterday. You have Nick Chubb, of course, running the ball all over the place, which always opens things up for him. Where do you come out on that offense yesterday? Do you think that that's going to be more the trend going forward? And certainly we're all hoping for that. Or do you see us reverting at some point? Hopefully things will continue the way that they are.
Well, I really do feel like they've sort of established a formula with Chubb. I mean, you're going to get him involved early, but he's still your Mr. Fourth Quarter. Now, it will be interesting when Kareem Hunt comes back, just how do they run more? Maybe it's the, bad weather and you're good. I mean, I did feel like they've missed him, and especially leading up to this game. But I think the combination of the running game and the more of a vertical passing attack is, like I said, I mean, it's exciting. I still wonder where in the heck is Austin Hooper? And I'm always complaining about get the ball to Njoku. And, just like, I mean, that guy is a mismatch for almost everybody they go against. So, there's kind of I still think that this is a work in progress, and the offense can even take another step from here.
On the defensive side of the ball, Myles Garrett has been fantastic, getting to the quarterback, and in my opinion, getting held on just about every play, and still being able to shake free. One of the things I've noticed in the game, though, especially yesterday, is he seems to go out a lot, that he can't play, like even on that first series, he was coming out. Is that something that's just kind of the way it is with him? He's going to be subbed out during drives like that, or is this something dealing with still the COVID afterwards, or is this just, something that the Browns like to do, kind of just the normal rotation?
Chris, Denzel was hogging the oxygen.
That's true. That's true. And then Denzel was, I think he's still out, but that's a different matter.
Actually, the COVID thing popped into my mind in regards to Denzel, not Miles.
Yeah.
But you have to keep in mind, I think the defense was on the field for 22 minutes in the first half or something. And I think they're committed to a rotation. And if you want Miles at maximum efficiency, Miles, just imagine, that one play you're probably talking about when he's getting held by two guys and he still almost bursts through that double team.
Right.
Just imagine the strength that takes, that's got to be sapping your energy. I'm still more angry about the holding one when they had him by the face mask. That's the most egregious one I've seen this season. But, some people that I know have commented about they're tired of him complaining, and he did say, Aaron Donald and TJ Watt and guys like that deal with this all the time too. It's not just me. But I do think he's having a great season despite all that. And I don't know if that's going to change. The holding calls, it's not like the old days. It seems like they're letting him get away with a lot right now.
Hey, Marlo, on offense, Rashard Higgins did not get many touches. I think he was on the field for like 3 plays. What's going on with Higgins?
Well, this sort of reminds me of I'm really dating myself, but this kind of reminds me of the old days with Bill Belichick being the coach. It was always like he would pick his running back depending on the matchup. Like he would look at the opposing personnel. He'd see which guy do I have that's going to be the most effective against, their scheme and their players. I kind of feel that way with Higgins. When you need, you're choosing the skill set, I think, to match the the opponent's strengths and weaknesses. So I still think, just with the way the injuries have been this season, I still think you need Rashard Higgins. I've just been, I guess I'm a big chemistry person, and I just feel like the chemistry that he has with Baker is rare. So, and I don't think you really, except maybe for Jarvis, you have that with anybody else right now. So I think he's going to have his moments. It's just that wasn't the game that was conducive. We'll see how that goes forward, but I still think he's an important piece.
Hey, we're obviously playing the Patriots this week, and you mentioned Bill Belichick and his strategies. Can you talk a little bit about, what was Bill Belichick like to cover when he was in Cleveland?
You want stories? I got stories.
Absolutely. We would love to have some stories here, Marla.
Well, you remember the Bill Must Go era.
Oh, yeah.
This is my best one. They're chanting outside. They had the coach's press conference and basically was a closet in the old stadium. And you can hear the people chanting outside the door. That was the frame of, reference for all this. But at one point I was writing for the Dispatch then. I put a note in the paper that the police were still guarding his house in Brecksville. And back then in the old media room, we had a payphone, and Dino Lucarelli comes in and says, Bill's going to call you on the payphone. And he chewed me out for, it seemed like a half an hour about putting it. And I didn't put his address in the paper. That was my whole point. We went on, and finally I basically had to hang up on him. I said, you don't really know me very well if you think I would do anything to endanger you and your family. I didn't put your address in there. That kind of thing. But he was just incensed. And it was just like, finally I said, I think we've said all we can say to each other on this. It was just quite a memorable occasion. And And I
You
really,
hung up on Bill Belichick. What a power move.
I love that. That's the ultimate power move. That's the most badass thing I think we've heard on these airwaves in a long time.
Absolutely.
Hung up on Bill Belichick. That's like right there at the top of your resume. I know you're very established. You've done a lot in your career, but hanging up on Bill Belichick's got to be near the top.
there's a caveat to that too. When he, I think it was his first Super Bowl. I went to that with a friend and wasn't covering it, and I'm waiting for her, and it's in the team hotel where they're staying, and they're having their party upstairs in the ballroom, and he's downstairs in the bar with his Brecksville neighbors. And I'm like, I've got to go over there and congratulate him. But I was not, I mean, I knew he hated the Cleveland media. I knew he didn't, he didn't like me. He glowered at me when I come walking over to congratulate him. But I think by the end, it was the year that they had so many injuries and they were using like receivers as DBs and, just trying to cover the holes any way possible. And I think by the time I got done, I think he appreciated what I had to say, but he was not happy at that moment when I'm coming in to throw water on his Super Bowl victory.
Of course, one of the most famous things he did in Cleveland was cutting Bernie Kosar, the beloved Bernie Kosar, both here and then throughout Northeast Ohio. What was it like covering him at that point? Do you have any good stories from when he cut Bernie?
Well, that was a crazy day because we ended up rushing over to a hotel in Independence to talk to Bernie, like he was having some appearance, but my biggest memory from that is the Modell press conference when I asked Art about the diminishing skills and said, don't you feel any responsibility about you never drafted any offensive linemen to protect this guy? And
that's a good question, Art.
And he says, I'm not going to get into who blocked and who didn't block and who didn't pick up the blitz. And if you remember, Bernie's elbow was all screwed up by, on a big blitz play. So, I guess that's what sticks out to me most about that. There were diminishing skills. I told Belichick years later when we were supposed to have some sort of clearing the air discussion, there were diminishing skills. I agreed with that. But my point was Vinny had his arm in a sling. Why are you cutting Bernie Kosar when you don't have Vinny Testaverde? So, but that was just a surreal experience from, the press conference, the shock of it all. And then we're scrambling to run over to some hotel and talk to Bernie. And I'm writing another story in some hotel lobby or wherever in the heck I was. We might have even spent the night at that place. I don't know. It was wild.
That's hilarious. Hey, transitioning a little bit from the Browns to the Cleveland Cavaliers. One of the nice surprises this year has been that young core and really what the Cavs have done. And Ricky Rubio, really, I tell you what, I'm just having a blast watching him. Just the energy that he's infused into that young team. What are your kind of initial thoughts on the Cavs? And do you think that this is legitimately a playoff team?
Yes, I do. And what I think is most interesting at this point is it hasn't been that long ago when they had media day when JB Bickerstaff is saying, we're going to run and shoot threes. And look what it's turned into now. This is the ultimate example of doing what your players do best. And I really have to give them credit for this 3 big plan. It just reminds me of the old days, with when bigs really seemed to matter. And it wasn't just, you one guy. I don't know. I got to give him a huge amount of credit for going with such an unconventional plan. And I really do think they're legit. And also, yeah, I'm with you on Rubio. He makes him fun to watch because I'm not comparing him in this when I'm making this comparison exactly, but it's kind of like the Chris Paul effect. You needed that veteran presence to kind of steady the guys and teach them. And I just don't think Matthew Dellavedova, he was doing some of that behind the scenes, but I don't think Rubio seems to be really willing to be the mentor. And like I said, I know Deli was too, but he didn't have the skills on the court to kind of go with that. So I really do think that they're really fun to watch. It almost, it's looking like maybe Evan Mobley was the best player in the draft. So if that's the case, I do think they can stay healthy. I think they are a playoff team.
Marla, speaking of the Cavs and Ricky Rubio, we might be seeing a little bit more of him without Colin Sexton due to that meniscus tear. What have you heard about that? Obviously, that was a tough blow that came from that victory last night against New York. Where are you at with the whole Colin Sexton injury situation, and can the Cavs keep this up without Colin?
It is a blow, but especially when you think about, last year he's averaging 24 points a game. I don't know what it is right at the moment. I mean, he's one of your most consistent scorers. So, but I think you have seen, flashes of even Jetty when he's on the court with Rubio scoring, Markkanen seems to me, when he gets back, has been putting, finally getting his touch with the threes. I think they have scoring guys who can score. The most interesting one to me will be, can Dylan Windler finally overcome all he's been through and, be one of those guys, one of those reliable guys. It is a blow. I do feel like Sexton's underappreciated, especially when you think of, he always drives to the basket. He seems to never gets any calls, he's throwing his body around kind of like Kareem Hunt. You know what I mean? He seems to, have no fear when it comes to that. So I think it will hurt, but right now I still think they're in pretty good shape. We'll see how this plays out and how serious sometimes you need a scope, sometimes you need surgery. You don't really know. Sometimes you can strengthen the muscles around in your knee and you don't really know right now how long he's going to be gone.
Well, it's been fun for the Cavs so far. Hopefully they can keep it going. The Browns are rolling. We are going to keep this going. Marla, you are the best. Where can everyone read all of your stuff? They could read the Odell one, but let's move on.
Beaconjournal.com. We've got, we're devoting a lot of resources to the Browns right now. So hopefully you'll check it out.
Heck yes, they will. Marla, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay. You guys take care. Thank you.
Thanks, Marla.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Marla Ridenour, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, those
Good
Belichick
stuff.
stories were fun. Good job out of you,
I
Chris.
think
That
going
was
forward,
Oh,
Nick,
yeah,
we have to just do story time with Marla.
That's why you keep us old guys around so we can remember that stuff and bring it up.
yeah, that was
Get those stories.
phenomenal.
Yeah. Could you imagine a half an hour of just being chewed out by Belichick?
Nope.
And hang up on him. I love it. Go Marla. That's
And then
great.
scrambling around all around town from the stadium to Independence in a chaotic day when
the
Bernie
old school.
Kosar's. That's just crazy.
And the fact that she put Art Modell on the spot. And those teams, Nick, man, we had so much talent, but that line, we would always have problems with the line, and Bernie was always hurt. So her question was the essence of getting to the heart of what the problem was with those teams. So I love the fact that she put Art on the stand and on notice on that way. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff as always from Marla.
Heck yeah. Let's give away some beer and some GV shirts. What do you say?
Let's do it.
It is time for Who Wants to Be a Billionaire? Brought to you by Labatt and GV. Chris, you like how I just put a clip of you just drinking your water bottle?
That was fantastic. Well done.
Oh,
I noticed that was very dramatic too. I mean, it felt like a beginning of a Marvel movie going on there. I love it.
that's
Production
right.
value very high on that one, Dave.
Heck yeah. Thank you very much. All right. Each week, one contestant gets their chance for Browns trivia. For a chance to win, we're going to start off with cash for a 6-pack. If you want to move on, you move to a 12-pack and move on to a 24-pack. That's a case of Labatt Blue Light. And one final question to take home a case of Labatt and a GV shirt. This week, we welcome in Brian to Browns Trivia. Brian, what is going on, sir?
How we doing, guys?
Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I can be.
I saw you in the green room over there taking notes, Browns Patriots notes. I think you got this, man.
I hope so.
All right, here we go. A lot on the line. If you get stuck, you can phone a friend, put them on speakerphone. They have 5 seconds to answer. Here we go. Question number 1. First, for cash for a 6-pack of Labatt. Only one player has ever started a game at quarterback for the Browns and the New England Patriots. Who is it?
Brian Hoyer.
Confidence.
That question can't be right. There's no way. There's got to be another quarterback who's played for both the Patriots and the Browns. I guess starting. Okay, starting.
I don't fact check these. I don't know.
I'm going to call BS on this one.
Well, do you think like Jason Campbell or like
I don't know. There's got to be some random guy. I don't know, like Steve Grogan or something. I don't know. Somebody from back in the day. Tom Tupa.
That's right. One clap for
Ooh, that's a
Brian
good
Hoyer.
name drop.
Going back. Vinny
All right,
didn't play for them. Vinny played for the Jets. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Brian, would you like to move on? You got a 6-pack of Labatt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go. Chris, give it to him.
The last time the Browns beat the Patriots was in 2010. Was it really? Man,
Jeez.
these are blowing my mind. I remember that game too. Which Cleveland running back led the way by rushing for 184 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game?
What year was it again? I'm sorry.
2010.
I knew something was off. We didn't have it. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Ooh, suspenseful. 2010.
2010. My youngest was
Peyton
born.
Hillis?
Yeah, buddy.
Correct. He didn't even go for the hint. The hint
No.
definitely would have given it away.
Yes.
The only Browns Madden cover?
Yeah, the first hint was Madden cover. The second hint was join the CIA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And got strep throat. All right.
Oh no!
Sorry,
Don't
Peyton.
do Peyton like that. Yeah, come on.
He's a good sport. All right, Brian, would you like to move on for a case of Labatt Blue Light?
Absolutely.
All right, Nick. Hit him
All
with it.
righty. For cash for a 24-pack of Labatt, Bill Belichick obviously coached the Browns in the 1990s. Name his 2 former New England Patriot coordinators who went on to coach the Cleveland Browns.
Ooh.
Some post-1999 trivia.
Oh, God. Do you remember how many times we had to hear about the Belichick coaching tree?
Oh, my God. And the Patriot way, that we were trying to replicate the Patriot way. That's all I heard.
Were either of these guys a quarterback whisperer? One of them definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
If it was
One of
after
them wasn't, but
99,
one of them
definitely not. I'm going to go Marty Schottenheimer. And I don't know the second one, to be completely honest with you. Oh, Romeo Cornell.
Half right. Hold on. We're going to let you try one more.
Okay.
You got Romeo.
I can picture his face. I just can't picture his name. Can I phone a friend?
His fat face.
Yes, you can use a lifeline. He
Freddie
got it.
Kitchens.
No, not that fat.
No. Oh,
Scale back the fatness.
Final.
oh.
He just kind of had a fat face.
More plump, I guess, than
Plump. I go plump face.
Plump.
He's kind of plump face. You don't
I'm
take
absolutely-
I didn't say. I didn't ask if that was your final answer.
relative to Romeo, he's in much better shape, but still
There's been so many of them. I'm literally running through a carousel right now.
Do you want to phone a friend real quick?
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I don't know anyone that would know this.
this guy didn't last very long. Everybody thought he would. He brought in a bunch of veterans. Brought in a bunch of veterans to win now.
Kaczynski?
No.
All right, we got to cut you off there.
Okay. I'll just start naming off all 87 of them right now.
Here's a clue, but you lost. Sorry. He
Yeah.
was a genius.
The man genius.
Well, that was a little much, Chris.
I had a different name for him.
Rhymes with Ina.
Yeah. Brennan's got a...
real fan.
Oh man, Brian, I thought you were gonna have it.
literally as soon now I know it.
See, he's got
It
kind of a
happened.
fat face, right? Doesn't Eric Mangini have a fat face? I think
Yeah, I would. If I was describing his
Very
face, I would
punchable.
say he has a fat face. And
highly
And
punchable.
literally my old roommate from Ohio just texted me and said, Mangini.
Oh, where was he 20 seconds ago?
Yeah. Oh well.
Do you want to hear the last one just for
Yeah,
fun?
ask him the last one.
Yeah, let's see.
All right. Patriots famously selected Tom Brady in the 6th round of the 2000.
No way. 6th round, really? They never bring that
6,000.
up.
Yep. 2000 draft.
What-
The Browns also selected a quarterback in the 6th round of that draft. Who was it?
Oh.
He didn't play a whole lot.
The best part is we picked him before Brady, too.
Oh God.
Wait,
You have to wonder if Brady was on our board.
This
you know?
is very early in the Browns jersey timeline.
Oh my gosh. Let's run through the whole list there. Yeah, my gosh. I'm stuck at Tim Couch and it definitely wasn't him. In the 6th round?
Did he play?
He
A
started
Colin
one
game?
game.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, he
one
started
game.
one game.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely on the back of the
Yeah.
jersey.
Yeah, these are good questions. I have no idea.
Spurgeon win.
Win.
Spurgeon win.
Spurgeon win.
Yeah.
Great name.
It's
Not a
great.
great
name.
player.
Oh, Brian. Sorry,
Perfect.
man. You almost had
No,
it.
you're fine. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Go
Good
Browns.
Good stuff.
Well, before we
Yeah,
let you go,
two.
let's-
That was
let's
pretty solid.
bring it up a little bit.
Ellis.
How'd you feel about that game?
Oh, I lived down here in Florida and I finally found a Browns backer bar
Nice.
and it feels like home. The place is
Yes.
going crazy. And I literally was standing there and I was like, we've had no defensive turnovers this year. We're due. And 2 plays later, the warden just takes it back, snaps Joey B's ankles, and then is sucking oxygen for the next 15 minutes. It was a beautiful sight for me.
How about Burrow's ankles on that one? Man, oh man. I don't even know what happened. Like the way he got turned around, he looked like, one of those peewee football players, like one of my kids on my team.
Chris, that's a guy that still holds an OHSAA track record from Nordonia High School. That's what happened to Joe Burrow's ankles.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic. That was
Those are
awesome.
good facts.
All right, Brian, what do you think? Patriots score prediction. How do you think we're going to come out in this one?
I'm going to go 34-25 Browns.
Nice.
Nice.
Does Mac Jones try to hurt anyone?
The last quarterback that tried to hit a defensive lineman for us didn't fare too well, so I don't think so.
Brian, you're the man. We will talk to you soon, man.
I appreciate it. Have a good one.
All
Thanks,
right,
Brian.
Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Good stuff for Brian.
He's
So
good. He's
close.
good. He was. He was close. He was good. Knew his stuff.
He did.
Spurgeon win. That one's tough. That one's a tough.
That's a tough one. I thought he was going to get Mangina, though.
I did too.
Yeah.
This is a kid show. This is a family show. Come on,
Oh, that's right. My bad.
man, genius.
Man, genius. All right,
Remember
let's look
when
at
he
some-
left the Browns and everybody's like, "Oh, he's going to go in the studio for like a year and then he's going to be back in the NFL. Somebody's going to pick him up and he's going to be around forever."
He was in that studio for a while.
I wonder what he's doing now.
He's
You
still
have-
kinda in the studio. Doesn't he kind of do some stuff for him?
He's probably starting a podcast.
yeah, he's gonna be
It actually
emailing.
competes
He'll
against
probably
this one at
email
the same
Dave
time.
tomorrow. Hey man, I'm looking to start a video podcast.
All right, let's talk Patriots. Let's talk some bets. I got a new graphic for you guys.
Yes.
We got Odell.
Nope.
Sticking with the Odell. Very nice.
Why
Wait
not?
until it's official. He signs.
Gotta
with
wait till it's official to get rid of the the Odell my bookie graphic.
10
all right.
years from now, we're still going to have that on there.
They even sent me a new one. I didn't use it. All right, my bookie, go check them out. Double your first deposit. Get those Browns bets in. If you're betting the under on Nick Chubb, you're an idiot. Bet the over on Nick Chubb every single week. It's the only way to go. Use promo code BIGPLAY, one word, to get your first ever deposit match dollar for dollar. Extra money in your pocket just for using promo code BIGPLAY. Bet on those Browns, bet on those Buckeyes, bet on those Cavs. If you did a parlay on all those, you would have looked pretty good. Chris, we got to get Granville Sports into the system on my bookie too.
Should.
Get it four.
That needs to be a big push. If I was governor, let me tell you, Dave, high school betting on football, that would be huge.
Heck
Huge.
yes.
And very popular, I'm sure, amongst a lot of people.
Baby
That's right.
steps now, Chris. Baby steps. Let's get betting in first, just on a surface level before we
I
start.
just can't wait until it gets
expanding
down to
out.
the Pee-wee ranks where, I can start influencing the outcome of ball games.
Yeah,
Make
the
some
Blue
real
Bombers.
coin. That's
I'm going
right.
to come down to Granville and just start betting on games.
Like,
Because
who's
he's
that
yelling
weird
at
guy?
the kids.
Who's that weird guy in the corner smoking cigarettes? Very concerned about the outcome of this ball game.
Checking his
I do-
phone a lot.
I do remember I went to Vegas one time and I was just bored. And there weren't many games on, so I bet on like softball, like girls softball, and I was just like, all right, whatever. I'll just put a few bucks on this. And there was a guy next to me who was just screaming at the TV for this girls softball. He must have put thousands of dollars on this game, and I was like, I need to go play some slots or something. This is super weird. So yeah. Good old Vegas. All right,
There's
we're
somebody who needs an intervention that's not going to
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
That's right. Nick, I think you tweeted it out. We were 2.5-point dogs in this one. Nick G, I don't know if this is updated, but we're now just one.
Yeah.
1 point underdog. Is that true?
Yeah, it's
Whoa.
moved all
Yeah.
day. So it was 2.5
People are betting
this
on the
morning. Yeah, it definitely moved. I don't know. They love the Browns. How do they not? They went back and rewatched that Cincinnati game and said we got to move it. So yeah, that is accurate.
Could any of that be people thinking that maybe Mac Jones is going to get somehow suspended? No?
I don't think so.
I don't think he will,
No.
but
Okay.
I mean, maybe that factors into the odd maker decisions that you could literally be in there without a quarterback, and just that possibility of roaming out there. How about that? Wouldn't that be something? The Brian Hoyer revenge game.
How about if we have
Hoyer
the
still their
Steyer-
backup?
Yes. Yeah, he sure is.
Really?
So
He's
with
on
that,
the roster. I don't know if he's the backup.
I checked the depth chart today.
No
Ah.
kidding.
He is. Yeah. So yeah, you could have back-to-back revenge games. You'd have that and then the Odell game after that with Detroit.
Wow.
Wow, did you see that though, Chris? They actually, Man Campbell kind of let me down there. He said he's
Yeah,
not
he said
putting
he's
in a
not gonna
claim
do
for
it,
him.
yeah. But that's okay.
Come on. Doris needs to sit in there and pound the table for his guy. You know what? He did it for Odell the first time. He did it
That's
for
a
Kareem
waiver
Hunt.
claim, right?
Put your foot down, Doris.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a waiver claim. Costs you nothing but $7.5 million and a massive headache.
Maybe
Get
they
an
just wanna
Excedrin
wait.
sponsor. We did it.
Just
There you go.
they want to wait. They're just going to wait for after he clears waivers, and then they're going to go for him. That's their play.
I really don't want to go against Brian Hoyer.
Hoya.
I don't either.
No, let's get Mac Jones. I will shout out to the Mike McFadden, our buddy. He see this ball back here. He sent me a Tyrod Taylor signed ball
Oh,
to
that
compliment
is fine.
Chris, the gift that you gave me, the Colt McCoy book. Need
That's
like a
fine,
Seneca
actually.
Wallace signed magazine or something.
I think
now.
Colt McCoy got a victory this week.
He did.
That
Yes.
that was underreported, huh?
Incredibly efficient too. I think he had
Yeah.
good numbers in that game.
Yeah, their offense is unreal. And people were saying at the beginning of the year that Cliff Kingsbury could get fired really early on and it could be really messy. They went out there and won without Kyler Murray, who a lot of people were calling the MVP.
True. All right, let's look at these Patriots. 5-4.
Yeah.
Clearly never easy facing Bill Belichick. Patriots actually are looking pretty good. I looked at this quite a few games a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, this, whatever. This and the Jets, this will be easy.
They've already played the Jets twice.
Yeah, but they actually look okay. Gut feeling going into this game, Nick.
Gut feeling we're gonna be fine. If we see what we saw yesterday, guys, I don't know many teams along the National Football League that could hang with the Cleveland Browns. The Cincinnati Bengals were one of the premier, prestige, high-powered offenses with Burrow and Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and Mixon. They just had so many weapons. That's all we heard about. The Browns defensively found a way to shut them down in a game that the offense only had 48 offensive plays and put up 41 points. And I know some of those points came as a result of the Denzel Ward pick six, but if you could have that kind of production out of your offense, and Dave, you said it best with all the Odell drama, the key to success is so easy. You just run it with Nick Chubb. Hell, you run it with Dearness Johnson a little bit too. And then you go play action bootleg. They weren't even going play action.
You can tell them. You can tell Bill Belichick, this is what we're going to do. We have the players to do it.
It's so unstoppable. And it literally happened on that Donovan Peoples-Jones touchdown where they didn't think Baker was going to throw it. They thought he was going to hand it to Chubb, and he takes the top off of it. And then for the Chubb 70-yard touchdown run, there was a thought from that defense that Baker could pull this football down into his chest and launch it again, but instead he just handed it to Chubb, and there he goes for 70 yards. It's literally so simple. So if you just do that to New England, there's just not enough that they're going to be able to do to keep up with you.
Do we know Greedy Williams? Has there been an injury report on him?
Yeah, so he obviously didn't finish yesterday's game. I don't know what ailment it was.
Shoulder.
Yeah, which is not good if it's the shoulder with the
again.
Yeah, with the nerve damage. So there wasn't. Stefanski said that he'll know more as the week goes on. Same with technically, and I know it's probably very early for both of these guys, so I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. JOK and Kareem Hunt are eligible to return off the IR, and Stefanski didn't shut it down today. He said that again, he'll address that Wednesday once they get a little bit closer.
Speaking of Stefanski shutting down, did you see what he did yesterday to Tony Grossi?
You know, I thought that was a fair question. I have to say,
a lot of people are saying that they didn't care though. Everybody's like, that was a question that probably needed to be asked, but that's great that he shut him down.
It was that was just a tough question. I get that people probably don't like the way that it was phrased. Maybe could have been phrased differently,
Stefanski
but
didn't appreciate it. That's for damn sure.
No,
you could have asked that question in a much easier way to get an answer.
But wasn't Stefanski's answer an answer? Didn't Tony get what he wanted? That Stefanski got that pissed off. That tells me that yes, Odell did make the offense worse because Stefanski reacted that way that he hardly ever reacts.
That's true. He was off the game.
Dude, I just think that was a tough question. I wouldn't have had the nerve to. I wouldn't have had the nerve personally to call the microphone over and to ask that.
Yeah, Grossi Stan over here.
It was a tough question.
Fanboy. Grossi fanboy.
I'm gonna make a burner.
Oh God. Over under 45.5.
Over.
Last week was 46. The Browns almost did it by themselves.
I was going to say it's another week like that this week. We figured out our offense. No more Odell. It's going to be all Chubb, a little bit of Baker sprinkled in. Forget about the wide receivers. We'll hit them every once in a while, but we're going to keep it in the middle of the field and we're going to move the ball.
I will say, Patriots are only giving up 19 points a game.
Yeah, their defense is, I mean, that's Bill for you. Their
They've
defense
also
is
played the
legit.
Jets twice. As
Twice.
Chris.
Yeah, exactly.
Play the Jets twice.
And neither of those games were against Mike White, former Cleveland mayor, either. They were both Zach
Correct.
Wilson and bad Zach Wilson games. So yeah, I'm confident that the AFC is finally starting to shake the way that I think people thought it would. You know, you get about halfway through the year and things start to even out. The Browns look like they've exercised some of their demons. It could be back to reality for Cincinnati. Baltimore struggled with Minnesota. I think the predictions are slowly starting to become more and more closer to realities.
But the Steelers are beating the Bears in the third quarter, 14-3 right now.
Could this be Matt Nagy's last game, please?
You got to fire that dude.
Please. I'm looking at Allen Robinson's stat line, and I got this guy in my fantasy football matchup. I need 5 points out of him. He has 1 catch for 3 yards. What are we doing?
How good does it feel that the Browns are putting up 25 a game?
Yeah, so
Remember the
good.
days where we'd be like, all right, we got a touchdown this month.
Yeah, and it was always too when it was like if Cribbs didn't have like a really good return to get you
Right.
like into good field position, it was like, man, maybe next time he gets a chance at a return, we could get a little bit closer. Then, maybe a couple good handoffs could really get us close for Phil Dawson to come out and kick one through and cut this lead by 3.
Chris, what did you think of Baker? I feel like we're pretty logical with Baker, and I thought he looked really good for being in this system and doing exactly what Stefanski wanted him to do.
We're even-handed. We're pretty fair. We're not a fanboy for Baker. We like Baker. He's our quarterback. He's our franchise quarterback, and I think that's the way we've always treated him, and he played well. He played well. I didn't see yesterday any of those throws that just made me want to throw the remote control across the room. They were like,
I didn't sail any.
He didn't sail them. I think he had maybe one pass he underthrew, but outside of that, I thought he looked pretty darn good. And he looked really comfortable, which is what I'm really looking for. That's kind of an offense that's predicated on flow and on rhythm, and he seemed to be in rhythm yesterday, seemed to be confident about what he was doing. It wasn't the fake kind of confidence, because sometimes you'll get that fake kind of confidence out of Baker where he's trying to will himself to make throws and to make that offense go. He really genuinely seemed comfortable. I don't know how much of that is Odell being gone. I got to believe that that's plenty of it. But I also think they were really confident in the game plan yesterday. Run the ball, keep the ball in the middle of the field. Take your shots when they're there. And when he's hitting shots like that, like he did to Donovan Peoples-Jones, that's going to give him the confidence to continue to make throws that he needs to. So felt really good about where Baker's at. Hopefully he can continue that progression.
And how about Baker?
Ahead,
how about Baker too, guys? Like I know it became tiresome at a point during the week, that all we heard was he likes when the chips are against him and he likes when his back's against the wall. And it's like, yeah, those vanity metrics were starting to fade, with the high throws and with the bad sacks. It was like, all right, let's see some of the toughness actually come to fruition. And man, did Baker Mayfield answer the call during a week where you had a guy's father send personal attacks on you on Instagram and say that you purposely weren't throwing him the football.
What a world.
What a world.
And the best basketball player in the world also kind of throwing shade your way, trying
and
to
he somehow found a way to regain that trust in the locker room, where there were a lot of those guys saying that they would welcome Odell back and they feel for him and that the situation was a nightmare, more or less. So for Baker to regain that trust and in between those throws to Schwartz and the touchdown to Peoples-Jones, Baker was sprinting up to those guys and patting them on the back and patting them on the helmet and just rallying the troops. So as great as Stefanski was for having the entire team prepared, man, I got to give Baker some credit, because I was starting to get a little bit sick of the whole chips are against him, backs up against the wall thing. But when his back was truly all the way up against the wall, he definitely gave himself some leeway and pushed back in a big, big way.
And I know a lot of people on the internet want Baker to be this guy who goes out and gets 35, pass completions. he's not going to be that guy in Stefanski's system. Like, I think like 13 to 15 completions for Baker, high efficiency. That's exactly where we want him to be. So, Chris, if we're going to build a stat line
Take
for
that,
Baker,
people on the internet. Those
But you know
dark
what I mean,
people
like,
on the internet. You know,
everyone's
I see these people. They're on the internet. They have these comments, Dave.
the day
Drive me nuts. They get my blood boiling.
That's right. Facebook comments. No. But don't do you agree with that? Like, I think that's exactly how we want to use this guy, and he's more than capable of doing that. And sorry, he's not going to go out and throw for 500 yards. This is not going to happen. Although he's gotten.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. This is as long as we can run the ball, we're going to win the game.
And also, and we really haven't talked about this outside of the big interception, but turnovers.
Yeah.
Turnovers are going to be key. We've got to make teams turn over the ball. And boy, did the Bengals do that in spades yesterday.
And we got a rookie quarterback, Chris, coming up here.
We look a lot different as a team when we can make a team turn over the ball. You know, you got the Bears playing tonight. I always think back to those Lovie Smith Bears team, the Bears team that went to the Super Bowl, right?
Rex Grossman.
Sexy Rexy, right? That team wasn't great. What did they do? They turned teams over. And I could see us using a model like that to go really, really far. With the offense starting to click, you get this defense turning teams over. All of a sudden, we look a lot better than what we had the last few weeks.
That's very true. If you were to put a stat line together for Baker, Nick, what would you say going into this game?
That's a good question. I think Bill is a lot smarter than Cincinnati. No apologies needed, Cincinnati.
way.
So
Really?
I wouldn't be surprised if he
Old
stacks the
State.
box a little bit, and we need a little bit more out of Baker's arm this week. So I would say somewhere along the lines of 20 completions for 20 to 22 completions, even for hovering around 200, early 200s in terms of yardage, and a couple touchdown passes is what it's going to have to take, because Bill's going to load that box. He knows Nick Chubb is the goods. He's not going to let Nick Chubb run to the river, as Jim Donovan said. So
how good was that? By the way,
that was an all-time Colin, an all-time shirt by our guy Cody also. So
Cody got that out pretty quick.
Yeah. So you got to be able to win football games with your arm. And I thought Baker did that yesterday when they got into spots where they had to throw, he threw it. So just do the same thing again.
There we go. All right. Official predictions. Actually, Chris, I ask you every week, over under Nick Chubb yards. What's the highest you'd go?
What did he do yesterday? Was he at 140 or something?
He averaged 10 yards a carry.
Oh, the average was 10 yards a carry.
9.8.
Oh, a little low, actually.
Yeah, he's got to pick that up. He had 137 yards, Chris, only 14 carries.
He's going to turn into Leroy Horde. He keeps that up.
And 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
He's phenomenal.
He is in the second round.
We're gonna need a big performance out of him once again. I think I'm gonna say that just about every week. We're just so predicated on what he does. So
92 yards over under.
90. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go over on that one. I'm gonna go over on that one. Go under on the average because I think we're gonna run him a little bit more. But go over on the total.
I like that. All right, score predictions. Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cleveland Browns 32, New England Patriots 21.
Okay, pretty high score and over.
Yeah, definitely hit the over. Offense doesn't look as good because it's going against a much better defense, but still scores in the 30s. That'll get the job done against a rookie quarterback, especially if you can create some turnovers. That's going to be the key.
How about this one, Dave? Browns 34, Patriots 31.
Wow.
Last second drive.
Wow.
That's what we're going to see. We haven't really seen that this year. So we're going to see a drive by Baker. He's going to drive us down. McLaughlin, he's going to nail that field goal. We're going to walk away out of there with a victory.
I like that a lot. I think this is going to be a little bit lower scoring than 41 points, but I'm going to go 28-17 Browns. I think we win pretty decisively here.
Defensive struggle by NFL standards these days.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. As long as we win, just win, baby.
Just
That's-
win.
Just
That's
win.
all that matters.
Just like the Jaguars.
That's
Just
wow.
win. They won their first game on American soil. Congratulations, Urban Meyer.
And they're going to land Odell Beckham Jr. tomorrow.
How great would that be?
Good
Put
for
Odell
them.
on that team. Fantastic.
He'd look cool. He could get some teal sleeves and cleats, no problem. Get Nike on the on the horn. How quick could they whip up some teal clown shoes? The teal
You love
visor.
talking about Odell. Give it up, Nick.
This is funny.
All right, what'd you guys think of this one? Chris Long, great Twitter handle, by the way. Nick Chubb's family is making a low light of Landry pitches as we speak after that Landry fumble. Case Keenum in the replies. I didn't even know Case Keenum was on Twitter.
I didn't either. And the AV, could the AV be any more Case Keenum? Him and his wife and his kid. It looks like something you'd put on your mantle. He's got as his AV. It's fantastic. Very wholesome, Case
That's a
Keenum,
good one.
as to be expected.
Good to see him on Twitter. Maybe he only replies to tweets. That's maybe why we never see him out there. But good stuff, Case Keenum. Having some fun. I love it. Did we have any bad tweets this week? Let's see.
Did we have any bad tweets this week?
The rest of them.
That's right. All
Hayden
of the
Grove.
rest.
I feel like Hayden Grove makes our best, worst tweets. Sometimes best, sometimes worse. Like every week. Nick G, switch it up, man.
Oh, we've already reached that point in the season where we're doing speculation on NBA trades, right?
Oh, come on.
Come on, man. The NBA.
Uh,
I have the perfect solution.
no
for the
Ira
NBA.
Newell in this tweet, though.
You need to just make it a reality TV show. Get camera crews, do it the Office style where it's
What, the
very
NBA?
dirty and yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like keeping up with the NBA and use the Kardashians font, and it's literally just the Office style with a guy with the camera on the shoulder, and it's real. And then you could go to the cut scenes where they're explaining what's going on. The drama, it would be must-watch television. You could put it on HBO and make it like a paywall subscription thing.
You could raise money for the Boys and Girls Club while you're at it.
Wow,
There you go.
exactly. You could wear your best shirt that says "I manage a
Plaid
Pizza Hut."
shirt.
For the
man.
audio listeners, Hayden's he said he was proposing a trade. So Colin, Laurie, Okoro, and 2 first-rounders to the Lakers for LeBron, who says no.
LeBron
We all say no, and LeBron says no.
flirting with the Cavs just really, really hard. He's flirting with OBJ. He's then flirting with the Cavs. I think we know that he's coming back at some point, right, guys?
Setting the
wouldn't-
stage.
Would you guys take LeBron back seriously?
Yes.
If we had a trade for him,
No. Say after next year with the Lakers, 2022 NBA free agency.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes,
It's unanimous.
yes. That's not even close.
And we would be right back in the
I'll
Eastern
tell you what,
Conference
though, I
Finals.
will say the only thing that gives me a little hesitation is how well the Cavs are playing right now. You say this
Yeah.
is a young core, and you don't just slide LeBron in there as a role player. Obviously, he's going to dominate and he's going to be the guy for the team. And you almost hate losing the culture that you've already built. But having said all of that, if you get a chance at LeBron, yes.
This is how we ended the last show talking about LeBron.
Why
Stop
are we doing
tweeting,
that?
LeBron? Stop tweeting.
No, come back. You could tweet all you want, LeBron. Come back. You missed Cedar Point. Your kids, could
Swenson's.
hang out at
Swenson.
Swenson's in the beautiful Cuyahoga Falls area. It's
North
something to
Coast.
behold. You could play tennis on those tennis courts. That's where they light off their city fireworks. It's really beautiful over
Hey,
there.
before
LeBron.
we go,
Come back.
Yeah, we can't end like this.
yeah, we got. Let's end it on Tony Romo. How bad was Tony Romo? I
I'm
know.
so glad I didn't have to listen to
Yeah,
him.
Nick, you didn't have to be bothered by Tony Romo.
I heard it sound. Chris,
There
your tweet
go.
summed it up so hilariously. As someone that has had to call games before on 24-hour notice. That was hilarious.
It was like he picked up notice that he had this game at noon for a 1:00 game, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, he didn't know the Battle of Ohio.
That was
No.
hilarious.
He knew nothing. It was like It was like you go to Thanksgiving and then you just have like this weird talkative cousin sitting next to you, and he's just blabbing about nothing. He knows nothing.
Right.
He's just talking to try to fill as much air without knowing anything.
And Jim Nantz seemed to be getting kind of visibly frustrated with him as well. That chemistry that they once had is no longer there. And I don't know what's going on with Tony Romo, but man, has anybody hit the skids as quickly as Tony Romo? A couple of years ago, man, he was it. Everybody wanted to be Tony Romo. He was the guy. He was the model person who you bring into the booth from the field to the booth.
He was predicting plays before they happened.
Yeah.
Now he's just talking out of his you-know-what.
Yeah. But, Chris, did you upgrade the graphic?
Which graphic? Oh, for Jim Nantz?
the Jim Nantz graphic.
From 2-14 to now 3-14 all time when Jim Nantz is on the call. And I think, do we have him again this week? I'm not sure.
I hope not.
I hope not.
I'm not sure.
It's
But now
1 o'clock, right?
we have officially 3 wins when Jim Nantz is on the call all time to 14 losses, folks.
Whew, not bad. I'm feeling so much better tonight after that Sunday game. Thank God we didn't have to have a show sub 500. I'm feeling a whole lot better, especially going to Patriots, Jets, and then let's get some momentum, knock the crap out of the Ravens back to back. That would be fun.
No, we go Detroit, right?
Yeah, we got the Lions in there too.
What did I say?
You said Detroit. You forgot that we
I'm
actually had.
I'm getting the Jets and the Lions mixed up.
We had a bye. We have a bye week when we play the Lions, and then we play the Ravens, and then the actual real bye week that the NFL gives out.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, we go Ravens by Ravens.
Yeah.
So weird. Anyway,
is
are we getting
weird.
out of here or what?
I don't know. We could just, Nick, do you want to talk about LeBron anymore?
LeBron, come back. Cavs keep it up.
Thanks for tuning in to the Big Play
Browns by a
Replay
million.
Show. We will be live every Monday night talking Browns and talking Cavs as long as they're good, and some Indians.
Blue Jackets talk too. We got to crowbar in some Blue Jackets. They had a
There we go. Chris, we need to get some golf in here too.
I'm going to the Monsters game. I'm going to the
golf
Monsters game. November 19th. Cleveland Monsters are playing the Syracuse
Orangemen.
No, that is not it. There's some hockey team minor league from.
We're
from
never going to get
Syracuse.
out of here.
I'm going to be going crazy. I might skin squat.
Nick's got to do some shout outs now. Nick, anybody you want to shout out while you're on?
Yes, I would like to shout out the brilliant people over at Shack News. I'd like to shout out Tony Grossi for having the stones to ask a question that nobody else did. I would like to shout out GV Art for giving us these beautiful shirts that we wear every week. I got the Denzel one on. Dave's got that Myles Garrett one on. I got the Myles Garrett poster behind me. Go get a shirt from GV Art. Drink a Labatt with us every Monday. And TSC Cleveland, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel at Big Play Reflog. We gave away a Wyatt Teller 8x10 tonight, so we're going to give away a ton more autograph stuff from the Browns from tsccleveland.com. That's my shout outs, Dave.
.com.
It's time! Streaming live from Cleveland, Ohio! Presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight podcast of the world, the Big Play Reflog